You seen it?
How about the
Don't
barcode?
let, don't.
How about the barcode that needs to be on the door?
Just this. What's one? This one. This is what people are saying. So this is what you do.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's begin. Our first speaker is the reason we're all here today. He's an AI strategist and author of 4 books on blockchain, artificial intelligence, and the future of business. I have these books right here today. So he is the author of An Evolution into the Metaverse. It's right here. Wealth of the Blockchain, the Economic of Possibilities. Inside the Heart of Global Entrepreneur. And From the Code to Consciousness, Connecting AI and Human Powerful Results. So, these are just a glimpse of the expertise he brings to the field. He's also the founder of Vorm, an educational and technology company he's been building for nearly a decade. Today at MCKI Solutions, he builds AI systems that help business automate processes, improve efficiency, and solve real-life challenges. Now he's going to show you live in this room exactly what AI can do for your businesses. Please put your hands together for Remed Dominic.
Thank you very much, and welcome again. Can you guys see the screen very well with the light on? Or do you want to?
Yeah, okay.
Yes. Very good. So I want to take few seconds to appreciate you for being here today. I want to welcome each and every one of you to this event. Now, as I start, it is important for you to understand this. I built an artificial intelligence tool that measures where AI agents fail. I've built a tool where you have artificial intelligence agents working. It understands where these different AI agents fail. So I'm not a theorist that came to communicate with you. I'm a practical builder in the ecosystem. Now, our major topic today is on agentic AI. Agentic AI has, before we get here, there are 3 levels to it. There is AI, there is AI agents, and there is also agentic AI. These are the 3 levels and 3 layers of artificial intelligence. So understand this. Like I said, I built a tool prior to now that measures and shows where AI agents an agentic AI tool fail. Currently, these are the major agentic AI models that we have in the world. We have anti-gravity, we have Claude Code, we have these different agentic AI agents. I checked where they fail across different parameters, for example, security, for example, hallucination, and I came to see that they failed. Another product that we have built is an artificial intelligence brain, and what do? We use an agentic AI to build that. One other major product that is an enterprise product that we built is the Verita Pod. And you can see we also use some agentic AI to build it. Now I'm going to scroll to a particular place here called finding. And you can see some of the real life findings that was done using this concept that we want to learn today, agentic AI. So it is important for us to communicate on this level. How do we differentiate these things for you to be able to have the same powerful results in your business? Now, how many of an artificial intelligence that you can chat with, an AI could just be an artificial intelligence you can communicate with. You might open your ChatGPT today, and then you type in a couple of questions, and then it gives you a response. That is an artificial intelligence. So let's put ChatGPT here. How about what an AI agent is? An AI agent is what you can see here. The AI agent takes about 3 different processes and gives you a result. It takes about 3 different processes and gives you a result. One of such live AI agents that we have now is this one called the Marketplace AI Brain. What does it do? Normally, a human being will check through physical documents like this, understand what is in the physical document, and when you understand what is in the physical document, you analyze it and then you give a response. But this AI agent is now able to check the document that is in the database and give you a response based on the document that is in the database. And that leads us to the final and major breakthrough of why we are here today, which is the agentic AI. So imagine this. We are learning about the tool because it is agentic AI that we use to build AI agents. It is agentic AI that you would use to be able to get an interface where you can chat and communicate with your artificial intelligence. The skill that we are learning is changing. And if you are a good follower and disciple, student of Roman Dominic, you will understand this, my favorite quote, that there is a shift from a degree-empowered economy to an economy of skills. Artificial intelligence and blockchain skills are levelers and enablers of the next generation. When I say the next generation, I mean you must be able to now have skills that in 15 years from now will be extremely relevant. So, does anyone have a question, first and foremost, about these 3 frameworks that we have identified here? Do you have a question on AI or AI agents or agentic AI? Is that clear to everyone in the house?
Well, I'll be honest, I'm new to AI. I've used learn about AI, this is the future, it's evolving, so that's why we want to learn more, and hopefully probably go on to do a course. So I'm new, so I'm just taking notes, trying to make head and tail from what we're saying, basically. So I'm a beginner. I'm not going to pretend that I know anything, but obviously you'll know ChatGPT and Copilot. Copilot?
Copy what?
Copilot.
Copilot.
Yeah, Copilot. Yeah, Copilot.
Copilot.
Copilot. You know, you see all different things popping up and, yeah. I'm not really, benefited out of that. And you've got other AI tools that you can use to help analyze, you know, information. There's lots of different apps. So I'm not going to give it.
I love the fact that you are open to learn. And I guarantee you, right, the first step to moving from this level, a beginner, to an intermediate, then becoming an expert, is what you have taken by being here today. And I love the fact that you have some experience with ChatGPT and Copilot, and you want to be able to move to the next phase. So let's start with this question. Who here in this room does repetitive tasks every week that consumes a couple of hours from their life? You?
Definitely.
Very good. So, the most important thing you must take home from this event, or from this event this afternoon, is this. Artificial intelligence helps to automate these repetitive tasks that we are always doing. So there is a shift from doing these repetitive tasks as human beings to being the one that directs an artificial intelligence to be able to do these type of tasks. Now, imagine this. I'm going to do 2 demos right now for you. Imagine this. You said you have a particular business that you do some repetitive tasks on. You also communicated that you have, imagine that repetitive task could be like, maybe I have a business, and in my business, I have to calculate the tax ratings every month. And this particular concept of tax applies to almost everyone here. In the either you are paying 20% or you are paying 40%, any of the percentage you are paying. So imagine we built an AI agent. Now, remember, we are not just trying to chat. We built an AI agent that does about 3 different things. Now, imagine I want to analyze, or I want to get my tax report or my tax findings. I will first of all look at the numbers, first of all analyze it. I will do calculation, tax 1, tax 2, right? I will do a summary, tax 3, and then give the final report, which will be the what? Findings. Now, this artificial intelligence tool that we have here is an AI agent that helps to calculate the tax of your business. So early this year, our government in Nigeria launched a particular the tax system to be functional in Nigeria. So I built this to help businesses to be able to automatically calculate their tax online. You can find this on Nigerian tax calculator.com. So you can upload an image, you can upload a PDF. So imagine I'm to upload this particular PDF here and say I want to be able to calculate my tax. It's going to upload, analyze it, and give me the tax that is liable on that PDF without me needing an accountant. But while it's doing that particular task, let's move to another demo. We started the first one, is running. We don't have to touch it. We only gave it the data, and it's working. The next one for a business might be that for most businesses, that every business tries based on awareness and distribution. For you to be here today, you had a certain level of awareness of this event, and the event was distributed around the internet for you to see. So most businesses create communications every day that help their businesses to grow. So you would want to automate maybe your content or your marketing department. Now, one way that I did a particular automation, imagine I'm roommate Dominic, and I'm fed up of writing my Twitter post, my LinkedIn post, my X post every time I write it. Before I write it, I come up with an idea in my head. So I built a system that does three different things or more. Now, note the difference. I built a system that does three different things or more. And that system is an AI agent. But what did I use to build the system? I used an agentic AI to build the system. So imagine you want to communicate on an idea today. What idea would you like to communicate to the world? Anybody in this room want to communicate any idea to the world? What idea would you love to communicate to the world?
Any topic?
Yes, anything at all.
Cross-cultural competence.
Cross-cultural
competence.
Cross-cultural competence. Good. I want to imagine that I am the one now that wants to communicate about cross-cultural competence. When a couple of people want to communicate, they just open their mouth and do, wow. But that's not how it's supposed to be. When a couple of people want to also post something on Facebook or LinkedIn, they just go on the application and start typing. No, ma'am. No, sir. The right framework for you to use is this. There's Google News, there are Google Trends, there is Reddit, where you have over 500 million people communicating daily, so you can draw data from there. There is X, where you have people communicating in real time, so you can draw data from there to be able to understand what people are talking about in that industry and communicate based on the user's pain points and reality. So the big question is, who would research that data? Who will go on Google Trends? Who will go on Google News? Who will go on Reddit to analyze the communications every day? We then built this type of engine. So what this engine does is that it analyzes Google Trends. For example, cross-cultural competence, right? Now, this engine is going to immediately, I'm about to type what you told me now. Cross-cultural competence. I'm about to type what you told me now. What will happen is that this will start thinking like Roommate Dominic will think. Before I did this, I'd already put some guardrails and some governance around it. What did I tell you to do? I told you to ensure that it researches Google Trends and Google News for anything related to cross-cultural practice. I've told you to also research, just name the best data source in the world before it then arranges a content for me to be able to post out. And you know, imagine you wanted to think of all you needed to type and post right now for cross-cultural conflict. It might have taken you maybe more than 5 minutes to complete this, or maybe 4 minutes. But because an AI agent is at work, you can see the ingestion layer, the intake layer, and we took in cross-cultural competence. And you can see immediately we have an article that we can immediately publish on LinkedIn on cross-cultural competence. So the problem, most founders choose global expansion like a software update, they put the same code. Cross-cultural competence is the ultimate asset infrastructure. And because this is actually have been built in my framework, it's giving me things that are related to my company and my brand only. You can see cross-cultural competence came from you, but my AI agent built it around my own narrative. Why? Because it has been programmed to do exactly that. So I can then take this, go on any of my platforms, and be able to do what? Push that particular article out. Up to this point, before we got to that point, we were looking at the tax calculator that was going to analyze what our tax liability would be, right? And as you can see here, the bank statement that I put in had an inflow of this, had an expense of this, have the tax liability of this. So this is how, or the money that I'll be able to pay. You see the gross income is calculated there, the consolidated relief, and every single thing. This, I should have paid an accountant or somebody to be able to help me do, but an AI agent just did this for me. So it is important for you to know this. What we are learning today is the tool that helps you to build AI agents in your business. Everything you have heard before about building AI agents, about using things that are like some of you must have heard of maybe Pro AI, LangGraph, LangChain, a lot of these things. Forget it. The reason why you need to forget it is because of these two things. Number one, those frameworks are too complex for some of the problems you're even trying to solve in your business. Number two, the models that are used to power those frameworks, Gemini 3.0, Open Sonnet 4.6, they expire, or they're not like they expire, they get upgraded every single time, and the platform will be changing that particular upgrade. So your application will break again in 3 months. Is there anybody in this room that have tried to use AI to do something in their business? And after they tried to do it, it started well. 1 week after, it was not working again. Now, this is the way to build it. You know, the core skill that I'm going to teach you today is something that will be timeless. It will never change. Whether these AI models change, the skills will never change. The discipline will never change. The framework will never change. And this is what we are about to learn today. For every business, the basic principle is data gathering, data structure. You structure how the business is, you plan out how the business is going to be. So that is how you start engaging with this very big word that is on our screen, that's on our agenda today, Agentic AI. I want you to imagine a folder. I want you to imagine a folder. How many of you know this icon here? How many of you know this icon here?
You can see it. Right, over one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. This is all you need. And one agentic AI. You see this folder? And just one agentic AI with some set of rules to be able to do anything you want to do with artificial intelligence. So what is that secret tool that you must have? That secret tool that you must have is a tool called VS Code, or you have anti-gravity. For the sake of this particular event, we'll use the VS Code interface. But before we proceed to the VS Code interface, we are going to be building an AI agent for one of you that is in this room that have real business and you would love to solve the repetitive tasks that you do on a day-to-day basis in your business. So, number one, you need a folder. Number two, you need this. And three, you need some set of rules. The same AI agent, the same AI that you normally chat with, the Copilot, the ChatGPT, you see the normal way you used to chat with it. That's the same normal way you need to also use to chat with the tool that will help you build the AI agent, that will also help you build that interface where you can communicate with your artificial intelligence. So, how many of you have businesses here? And let's be able to go through this business together. If you have a business, can you identify by show of hands? Okay, good. Good. So, what's your business? Wedding photographer. Okay, what about you?
Car claims, restaurant.
Car claims, restaurants. Okay? Do it. What about you?
E-commerce company.
E-commerce company. Okay, car claims, e-commerce company, photography. Now, let's imagine this. You want to be able to build an AI agent for your business, or your business. What is the repetitive task that you normally do for your business, or you normally do for your business, that you would love to eliminate instantly? So, we'll start with the photography guy, then move to the car insurance, and then the e-commerce guy. So, what is the thing that you normally do that is extremely repetitive?
Editing photos.
Come again?
Editing photos.
Editing photos. Okay? Every day you edit these photos. And you want to be able to not edit these photos.
Yeah, let AI do the editing.
Let AI do the editing. Okay? So that workflow would be, you have snapped your picture, then you ingest it into an artificial intelligence to help you do that particular thing, and you describe your exact editing style to the artificial intelligence, and then it will then give you an output based on that. Very good. So we have a workflow where you have okay. How about you? Answering of the calls. Okay, good. So when someone comes for an insurance claim or a car claim, they bring a call directly to you. So customer call, then in that call, some data, you gather some data. You gather some data, and then you make a decision. Or, okay, after gathering some data, what else? After you gather some data, or after you listen to the person via the phone call, what is the next thing that you do?
Basically, fill out their form.
Good. So you then possibly gather the data, fill out their form, and then you make your final decision. All right. These are two different workflows that you've seen right now. How about you? Could you communicate yours to me?
Data gathering,
Data gathering,
products, and training products to add to my store.
data gathering on trendy products to add to your store. Okay. Sorry, I need to switch this. Data gathering on trendy products. Now, let's imagine the workflow of this data gathering. Because for the reason why this one is so extremely important, because each and every one of you here also gathers data. Whether you are going to look for a new client, so you are already scanned, you observe the client's profile from this, so now you will build the client when you get there. Same thing, at a point in time, we got to this point where we saw that there's high level, you have to still gather some data. But could you walk me through this workflow of data gathering so that we can also itemize the workflow for it?
Okay, so I researched on TikTok most especially
Mm-hmm.
to see products that are trending at that point in time. Be able to catch them ahead of the trend and get a supplier.
Very good. So you research, your platform is TikTok, you catch that trend and then you get a supplier. Now, this is all you need to do. Imagine that this is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 workflows. Imagine this one is also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 workflows. For this one, you put in 5 folders. For this one, you put in 4 folders. There is a name that we call these folders. We call them the folders of hope. The folders of hope. Because these folders of hope, we are not going to have anything inside this folder. So let's be able to start with someone. Let's have, so imagine I'm on my document. Every one of you can go online and install this particular software. This particular software is called VS Code. Once you go online, you set your Visual Studio Code, you'll be able to see the Visual Studio Code and then you can download it and use it. And once you downloaded it, all you need to do is to click on this and then it opens up like this. So how then do you start? You start with the basic skill of data gathering, understanding the plan that you want to do. Imagine you want to build a skyscraper. Do you just go there and start putting rods and all these things? No, you don't. You first of all start maybe with a civil engineer and you give it to an architect to understand what the civil engineer has done. You now give it to a builder to interpret the plan of the particular, then you put in some foundational work before you then work. So it is this foundation. Now, he wants to do something around data. You need data, you need data. We could have just, the normal way everyone approaches this is that because I have artificial intelligence now, I will just go and use my artificial intelligence and just type it there. Build me an application for data gathering for trending products for Amazon. Or I want to do that particular thing for trending products on Amazon. But when you do that, you will fail. So this is what we do. I'm going to create a new folder. And this new folder, I'm going to put this folder as data gathering. So close my folder data gathering. Can you see this folder is empty? Extremely empty, and that's the reason why we call them folders of what? Of code. Remember again, we are learning about the tool that helps you to build AI agents in your business. You use artificial intelligence to ask questions or to generate content, but today you are learning how to use artificial intelligence to automate a workflow so that you can cut down time for you, just the way that content system did for us. And it can also speed up how you calculate things, the way that task calculator sped up that calculation for us, and then automate your workflow. So in this data gathering folder, we can decide to have more folders in it. So what should our first folder be? Our first folder should be a research folder. Our next folder could be where the social media platforms, different social media platforms. Our next folder should be a filter. Maybe a filter for a folder that helps to filter this data from the social media. And then research social media, catch them.
What they're trending.
This one is what? Get supplier.
Yeah.
So so you have the supplier folder for that. Now, when I come down to this point, I will come click on it. Now I've moved from the normal Windows interface that you guys know. I've moved to the place where we are going to use the AI agent. But before you do anything, let me explain this sidebar for you. This particular one counts 1, 2, 3, 4. You have this one here is where you need to open your folders from your system. This is the search bar. This, you can use it for source control. This, you can use it for running and logging. But this place is the most important place I want to show you, where you have the extension. So I'm going to install an AI agent here. I can decide to install Gemini AI agent here. It's already installed. I can decide to install Claude Code AI agent here. As you can see, it's already was installed. So I have two AI agents here already. So I can proceed. For you, a next step would be for you to install, because you could have used Gemini before, but you're using Gemini to chat and create content. Now, we are going to use it to build around your business. So I open up this folder and I click here, open folder. Once I click here, open folder, what happens? It comes to, remember again, we started from documents and we started from data gathering, right? We started from document and we started from data gathering. So you click on open. So, can you see, now that we have opened this, can you see our different folders they are here? The filter folder, can you see the research folder and supplier folder? They are all showing here. Now, on these different folders, you are going to be adding special files to these different folders. And these special files is what we call the instruction or the governance, how you want whatever you are doing to what? To operate. Now, one of the winning elements of the 21st century is speed. And artificial intelligence helps you to be able to 10x the speed that you can use to deliver whatever it is. So now, let's go and use an artificial intelligence interface that you all know, or you possibly all have been used to, so that we move from the common to the uncommon. Okay, so you guys might be used to Gemini. How many of you have ever used Gemini? Okay, that's good. So, this is Gemini, but you notice this is also Claude Code. And what we did use here in our folder and architecture map and ID environment is the Claude Code. So you can use your Claude Code to be able to ask questions. You can use any other AI as well to ask questions. Now, since Gemini is one AI that every one of us knows, let's be able to communicate with Gemini. So let's ingest what our very good friend here, Ikena, said. So we want to be able to build a data gathering automation tax system for trending products that are on e-commerce platforms like Amazon, eBay. We ideally research these products. We have them understand the social media trends like TikTok, like Google Trends, Google News. We catch these trends and then we get suppliers. We've already differentiated this into 4 different workflows like research folder, social media folder files, the filtration folder, and then the supplier folder. Give me the information that will be on my Claude.md file, my txt file, and my product engineering file to ensure that this product or this automation is an enterprise grade level type of automation. The reason why I'm opening this up is so that you can see the full computation of what we have just given it now. I want to take this communication, open it on Claude Code, and also paste it there. So while that is building, for your folder, your major folder, this first one, look closely here, you will see this part, new file. Look closely here, you will see this part, new folder. You are not touching anything around folder again, at least not from now. But you are going to touch something around the new file here, which is your claude.md file. Now, why do you need this claude.md file? You need this claude.md file to be able to instruct your system, tell it where you want to be able to go. Now, because I don't want to manually type in this conference and I want to be able to save time, is the reason why I've tried to get my claude.md file from here. The time at which you communicate to an artificial intelligence and the artificial intelligence gives you a response. Does anybody know what that gap is called or what that is called? You said? You are a very wise man. That is actually correct. So the artificial intelligence takes some time to think. In technical terms, it is called a latency time. That thinking time is called a latency time. So this is thinking to give us our engineering spec. And guys, for your businesses, it is important for you to be able to, I tell you the truth alignment. I've used quite a lot of artificial intelligence LLMs, but one of the artificial intelligence that I've found to be extremely good is this particular artificial intelligence called Claude Code. The reason is because it's the standard for bias that is being set for it is very high. The bias standard that is set for it is very high. But my problem with Claude Code is that it's not as fast as you would want it to be extremely fast. it's not as fast as you want it to be what extremely fast. Like imagine we give the same thing to maybe Gemini. Gemini would have given us a response way faster than the responses that these different products would have given to us. So these are clause attendee files. This is what we will then copy. These are clause attendee files. This is what we will copy and go paste it there. But instead of you to copy all of this, I will give you a cheat. So ideally, what we would have done is that we would have copied this one, right? We will copy this one, we'll go back to our VS Code here, and then we'll paste this here. And when we paste this here, we'll come back to this filter, and then be able to add another file to this filter. But the cheat here is this. You just ask your Claude Code to give you this.
You need to zoom in on the tab.
Okay, yeah. So the cheat here is for you to be able to prompt your AI the same interface that you all know how to use, this type of interface that you know how to use here. You prompt your artificial intelligence and say, give me this as a zip folder. So I can view this using Claude Code on my Visual Studio. I want to add something to that, and the prompt to start the complete view. So ideally, what I would have done is I would have copied this. I will come here. I will copy this. When I copy this, I'll go and save it as a read.readme file. So you come back again to maybe you come back again to your Claude Code. You create another file here, like for example this file here. You create another one here and call that file README. You create another file here and call that file again. You will continue to create different files here, but you can also just have a cheat for it and be able to use this particular prompt that I use now. Give me this as a zip folder so that you can use this using Claude Code on your Visual Studio Code. Now, it will then generate you this type of zip folder. Can you see the zip folder is already generated? Can you guys see that? Yeah. So as soon as you open this zip folder, you can download this. And then you go to the folder here, and you immediately can you see trend engine. So let's come back again to our Visual Studio Code. So let's start afresh. I'm going to close this now, right? Ideally, if you have to do this manually, all the steps that we have been going through is what you would have gone through. But because of the leveler that we are using, that helps to cut down costs and also save time, we have been able to get this here. So all you need to do now is go back again, open up this, your interface. And then you have a fresh interface that I've opened. Remember again, we only need three major things. Number one, your folder of hope, those folders of hope that we started with. Number two, your tool, which is your software called VS Code, and then you install your Agentic AI, which is the cloud code that we have installed here. And how did we install it? We went to extensions. Can you guys remember? We went to extensions and then we installed it. And that's the reason why this is now showing here. So we are going to open the folder again. So you click on open folder, go to downloads. Can you see the trend engine now? Click on the trend engine. Can you see our folders? 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you see them?
Yeah.
Now, can you see that our cloud.md file? But much more importantly, it added those documents that I needed. Here. Also added all of these documents. So you can see in this research, it has this. You can go back. You can see it has this. You can go back. And you can see these folders are empty. So there's nothing yet. There's nothing yet on this particular one, on this particular folder. So now I've just opened this folder. Can you see different folders? So how do we start building? You click on this and then you immediately go back to your cloud code or your artificial intelligence. Can you see the prompt that you gave to me? So here is your broad prompt to start the autonomous building and paste it as your first message to God. So I'm going to copy this now. And then I'm going to go back again to my VS Code. Can you see this interface where you normally interact with your Gemini and your ChatGPT? So you paste it in. By doing this, or by using this type of framework, right, you will be able to build products that do not break. You'll be able to connect to complex frameworks like LangChain, LangGraph, Pro AI, some unnecessary things that you do not need to learn for the past 3 years. For example, this is my book. I released it 2020 series 2024. So from 2024, 2025, 2026, I've been learning different frameworks on artificial intelligence, teaching different models and things around it. But this discipline, where you have your folder, your architecture drawn out, your markdown files, and then you have just one agent to build it for you. So you are, again, remember the 3 different layers. The one you are used to is AI. Now we are building an AI agent. We are building an AI agent that is for data collection. And what are we using to build the AI agent? The topic of today, agentic AI. So you use what you are learning about the tool that helps you to automate and build the automation in your business. You don't need to learn a lot of things apart from what you are learning right now. Because like I said, the models will change. It is the discipline. and the principle around the build and the future that will never change. Imagine 3 months from now, when I'm teaching this again, if there's a new AI model that comes, maybe Codex, maybe 4.9 Sonnet or something, that new AI agent, so instead of me to install Claude Code, I will install that new AI agent. But the discipline, the architecture, the structure remains the same. Remains what? Work on. Remains the same. So now, this is building autonomously. And why is it building autonomously? Because we are asked to build autonomously. Now you can see, as a human being, before now, I tell you the truth, I lie not. So you can see, we just wrote 280 lines of code here. Please, did any one of us write this code? But do you know that this code or these things that it is writing now, or this thing it is building around our business, it is what a Silicon Valley, it is what an Amazon developer, it is what anyone in the world will charge you £50,000 ideally to build this product or this type of system for you or your own business. For example, let's use your business, the business use case that you communicated. Now, you had that particular part of calls and all that. Okay? So imagine your people, as soon as you build that particular system, you would assign an agentic AI to be taking those calls for you, understanding the data of those calls for you, and then making those final form filling for you. When it is done filling the form for you, maybe putting the data, or you can send you, maybe you can put a human in the loop system and say, when I say human in the loop, I mean like having a human review what the AI agent has done before you give a final authorization. And then that system will be working exact same way for you. This same thing we are doing for this business, it is the same way that you will be able to use to build your own business. This same thing we are doing for this guy's business, the same way that this photography guy will be able to use to build his or our own business. Now what do we have so far? We have quite a lot of things. We have quite a lot of things here. So now, for this to work, we need to put a Kepa API key. We need to put an eBay key. We need to put an API key from Google as well, so that you can be able to scrape all of those different news that is on Google. I think I have a Google News API key, so let me just quickly get that one and add just that API key. I'm picking it from my chat. You can see this place has just been filled now, right? So this place has just been filled now. Okay. No, you can't, I think on this particular VS code you can't do it. So you then follow this. You please read and follow. So stage one research runs end-to-end their key first output 10 products, 9 pass, 1 drop. So right now, it's been able to look at 10 different products. 9 of them pass that particular process. Maybe drop one because it did not pass a particular process because it's not a trendy product. One thing I want to flag before stage 2, not now. Just so it's going to be. Okay, so only the smart assumptions are being progress. So when it gets here, you can type PROGRESS, progress, or you can type progress and continue. So what did I do? I said progress, continue to the next phase, and give me a live dashboard to be able to test this application. Now, as we progress and continue, and it's going to give us a live dashboard for us to be able to gather the data from this participant business that is seated down here. As we ensure that this is giving us this result, let's take 15 minutes to have refreshment and be able to have item 7, eat something, network with someone, exchange numbers, and let's all be back here in 15 minutes. If you enjoyed this so far, looking forward to seeing you again. And thank you for being here again. Welcome. Thank you. Guys, please, just make your way down to the reception, receive some snacks, grab something, drink, water, anything. Just make your way down to the reception.
done it. Thank you so much. You're right, running me down. When I have to pull it on that, because literally I started half an hour and both of them are cameras, which was
Sorry?
no, it was interesting though, I like it. I think it's true. Don't worry, every single thing that we're learning here, imagine one of them. Yeah. But I use something called So I trained it with my business, yeah, and I figured it out over 20,000, 30,000 photos. And it's like 70% data, actually. So now I just put it in, it chooses my pictures, and it edits the pictures, obviously, and then I go back in again. And because I learned it very simple. Almost, yeah, it's not the level from like 80% still on my level. But that, yeah, I told that. Okay, I told my dad brother tries to do it, but he doesn't know how to do it exactly. I didn't tell him how to use it. I stayed quiet, I told everything. I thought, you know what, I can't tell anyone. I said, what is this? I start telling people. You must always make jokes. Yeah. I'm gonna educate, take it. And that, AI, okay, funny, and I'm going to talk to that. That's actually. So I use it for my benefit, so I use it for other companies and give it post editing. I know I can use one that is only trained on data. Yeah. Because what just what I would do exactly or something exactly like that. So I have one. Yeah, I think I pay like 35 pounds a month. You pay 35 pounds a month for it? Yeah. Whoa. That's quite a lot. But the way I see it is, but if I get paid for one video, which is 50 to edit, and I'm doing 10 work, that one only covers the extras. You are very correct. So that's how I see it. Yes, it's actually alright. You know, one of the things about artificial intelligence, our phone understand is that it just becomes and the cost of is 5 times cheaper, and 7 times faster. We use it as well. Like, you know, my other uncles, it's not mentioned yet, but that was good for that. He uses it for use ChatGPT, so he pays for ChatGPT to fix it. He trains it in a way where it knows what it does, the business it does, and all it does is write something to it. So the inquiries he gets, it's fucking wasted. ChatGPT answers in his style, and he just sends it back. You know, in our last event, that was one of the key things we learned. System from and master from. So we train the AI in our voice and our identity, and then it does things for us. But honestly, it's been a very sweet and beautiful journey working with artificial intelligence. And I'm happy that from the last time we had that training now, you have stories of you using artificial intelligence. I remember you talked about, I think it was Opus. Yes, Opus, yes. I want to use it after you know, I think we do videos, probably of this. Download videos from YouTube. And cut it up to this part. So I put it on. That's it. And so I want to start doing that next. It really does give me more ideas for my personal content. So all the previous videos we've done that on YouTube, let's cut it up. Yeah, and then let's keep taking it. And then you put YouTube shorts. Yes, now, I think it's a lot of YouTube. Shows everything that
Yeah.
was.
Opus, the content multiplier.
And it gets the best piece of.
There's one application for wedding. No. There's one application I was sent to you for wedding. I don't know if that was I was showing you. I told you to do this.
Yes.
But then,
Well, I'll get the code later, or the code, and we'll talk about this. Let's ask you about here.
all right,
Lovely. Were you doing the talk then? Were you doing the talk about the AI?
Yeah.
Oh, that's everything down.
Well, we break now, but we'll start in about 5 minutes. So
Okay.
we can,
I'll put it on my plate.
Alright, no problem.
Anyway, let you get on.
Alright, thank you, sir. So guys,
right, guys. Are you welcome back? Are you guys ready? Let me have my own. You know. So, guys, welcome back. Welcome back. Remember where we stopped, and where we stopped was very critical because at that point we were generating the data. We're generating the data base for trending products for our friends. Now, if you look at the screen, you would notice and see that he needed a data gathering for trending products. And we can quickly see right now, let me see. You have, okay, good. Then, now, let's quickly hope he comes back for him to be able to experience a live view of his own product. So he wanted, Ikenan said his major business is an e-commerce business. And what it does is research for this product across social media platforms, catch this product, and be able to what? Get a supplier. So based on the trend, here are some of the results that we have. This is the supplier. This is a particular product, RGB LED street lights. Can you see this particular product? And this particular product, you can sell it on Amazon, eBay, retail, home improvement. So he can use this, he can say, if he takes this product now, these are the suppliers that he will sell this product to. And this product will be extremely profitable. He can take this particular product now and go and reach out to these different suppliers and sell this product to these different suppliers. You can take this product, can you see the different products? And you can see there are also, now if you need to send a message to contact the supplier, can you see the message as well? So these are top products, and you can see for this product, the trend score is 69. This product, can you see the trend score for this product? 74. Can you see the trend score for this particular product? 100. So based on this data, what product would you sell? Imagine you are Ikena. You will sell the product with the best trend, or the one with the next best trend. So this is how you use agentic AI to build AI agents in your business. Now, I want you to imagine this. This was done in between the space of time that you went to take your coffee, eat your snacks, and come back. Imagine we need to employ somebody in this e-commerce business to do this research right now. List out all the suppliers for us. In another 2, 5, 6 hours, this person will still be doing that. But this was done in less than 30 minutes. Helps to save us time and also helps to give us high level of what? Speed. So guys,
And Agentic AI has just built an AI agent. And Agentic AI has just built an AI agent for this business. So you can call this AI agent a data collection type of AI agent. On that note, that brings us to the end of this communication. You have seen prior to now some products that we have tested and have been built, like the content engine, the tax calculator we explored, I think before then we explored Veritaport, one of the enterprise products too that I've worked with and have built the layer 3 verification status. This particular engineering and blockchain side was built and deployed by yours truly. We've also seen a particular AI brain that has been done. And we've also shown you what you can do to achieve these same results in your business. Attendee AI solution here. You might have, so you see, there are places like Udemy, Coursera, Aspen University. But here, Agentic AI solution, what we do is to hold your hand and walk you through the process. What we do here is to be able to ensure that we put you at the forefront of technology where there are no jargons and you can immediately go home and engage using Agentic AI. And in this space of 1-2 hours, we convey to you how you can achieve powerful results in your own business. So, if this guy now that has been able to build this particular AI agent in his business, that's this guy that has been able to build this particular AI agent in his business, if he wants to get content related to his business to market this, all he just needs to do this, he will now go back to the former state where he was, where he used to communicate with normal AI, and just communicate that. Generate and say, you are, and yes, this is the best way to prompt every AI. The natural skill or programming language of the 21st century is prompt engineering. It is the way you communicate to an AI. And how do you communicate to an AI? This is one of the most important parts of this lecture that you would find. This is very, so arrow for row, arrow for row, arrow for row, C for context, and G for goal. This is how you do prompt engineering. So I'm going to do a very short prompt engineering here using this formula. You are my senior marketing director that helps my senior marketing director. Let's stop there first. So that is the role. Context. In this context, I am a beginner e-commerce person. I'm my senior marketing director, and I am a beginner in e-commerce business. So what is the goal? The goal is to be able to use all these products now that people have seen, maybe to create communication around it that will attract people. Create communication around are selling our best two selling products for an £8 million return. So that is how we then engage with it using the role, the context, and the goal framework of prompt engineering. Now, this is going to generate marketing materials for us to be able to engage. One of the biggest problems that people find in their business, when they have a business, they are unable to create high level of awareness and distribution, and they cannot tell the story. Now, I want us to shift our mindset. Imagine this. An AI agent will build for you. An AI agent can do all of these things for you, but your unique way that you tell your story is what will bring the right customers to come and drop their money on your doorstep. And that is why in the business of the 21st century, storytelling is part of it. For example, look at me. 3 years ago, I was an electrical electronics engineer in Nigeria. Today, I'm a senior artificial intelligence engineer here in the UK. I am not a theoretical victor. I have built products, I have taught over 12,000 people, and I have books on this technology of the future. Using this framework that we have taught you now, you can replicate powerful results in your businesses. And if you want us to hold your hand and guide you through that way, we will definitely be doing that same thing for you in your business. On that note, do you have questions that you want to ask? Feedback that you want to share? Ask them and share this feedback as we draw this session to a close. Most of you have used ChatGPT before to create content. But can you see what just happened when we use our framework of role, context, and goals? We now have marketing communication from our senior developer, from our senior marketing manager. For example, this one is for the LED light. Your room code is board. The app controls this, change this to this and all of those. If I want to go tap it and turn the light space tonight. TikTok, point of view, spend £20 on your, you spend £20 and your room looks like a £2,000 setup. You can see different angles because why? This guy wants to sell LED lights on what? On TikTok. So we've successfully built the product here, and we built an AI agent using Agentic AI. We use Agentic AI to build an AI agent, and now we are talking to the AI. Can you see the inverse? Before now, it was AI agent, then Agentic AI. But the real operation of what happens on the field is reverse engineered. You have the AI agent first. So whatever you are seeing here, flip it on his head. Flip this on his head. You have the AI agent first. Then you have the Agentic AI first. You have the AI agent next. And then you now have the AI that you communicate with.
when you flip your mindset as you walk away from here today to this framework, then you will always succeed. So, ma'am, in your day-to-day work, maybe you want to achieve something in your career, your profession. If there's something that you normally do every day, maybe you go and search for news or something, just break it down into 3 simple steps. Maybe you check your Gmail for a customer's enquiry. So write it down like this, because I'm going to give you guys an assignment. So if you check your Gmail, oh shit. So maybe you check your Gmail for a customer inquiry. And when you see that customer inquiry, you have to maybe research and then you respond to the email back. You can build this, but using the flip side now on his head. Before it was AI agent, and then agentic AI. But go home with this framework. Agentic AI, then agentic AI build AI agents for you, just like as it has built for our friend here. Then you communicate naturally with your normal English with artificial intelligence. So on that note, any questions? Any feedback? Any questions? And any feedback? So the homework, of course, 100%. So the homework that you guys are taking home today is this. I want you to build an AI agent, this second layer, around a repetitive task that you do every day. Remember how we started? We said, how many of you do repetitive tasks that take away some of your hours on a weekly basis? Take your time this week, observe. Write those repetitive tasks down. You see the way, welcome. You write those repetitive tasks down. You see the way we have built here. Use that same framework. Use that same framework to build your. You will get this exact type of. Yours might not be a data collection engine like we did now, right? Yours might be maybe if you're in the medical sector. Yours might be maybe if you're in the something. Yours might be maybe if you're in the car insurance sector. What sector are you in?
Actually, I'm in, at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm not really studying or doing learning.
Okay, that's good. But the fact that you made mention of learning, you can also build a system like this that will help you to learn things easier, faster, and make better decisions with them. So what do you need to do? How do you learn? Ideally, it's a repetitive task for you. How do you learn? You go maybe on the internet and search for the best things around artificial intelligence. So task 1 is that I engage with research. That should be in folder what? 1. Next thing, after you do the research that helps you to learn, you filter the information. But before that, imagine you have ingest.
You remember that our content engine, we have the ingest layer that, imagine what you want to learn about. What do you want to learn about now? AI, yes. So, your ingest layer, you put AI there. This is your own workflow right now, my friend. And this is how you are going to build your assignment. You ingest, you research around that topic, right? And then you filter that research, right? You filter that research to be able to get knowledge. So your own assignment, you are seeing now that you have 3 folders. So use your agentic AI to build the AI agent that you will be chatting with now to say, I'm learning about AI. This is what I want. So as soon as, imagine after you have built this, you will have an interface that will say, what do you want to learn about today? What's the name, sorry? Musa. If you ask you, what do you want to learn today, Musa? So you put it in, or you communicate it there, and then it will reset it to filter, and you'll be able to do and get that powerful result. Is that clear? Does anyone still have a feedback and a question that they would love to share? On that note,
I have 3 questions.
okay,
Related to Agentic AI, what are the top sort of platforms or software that Agentic AI that you think everyone should be sort of familiarizing themselves right now to be fluent in terms of AI in 2 years, like 2028?
that is the backbone question that you have asked. And I love that question because it was the beginning of how we started. When we started, I communicated and said that I've built an artificial intelligence tool that measures where AI agents break and fail. So I'm not communicating what your response now to you based on assumption, because a wise man said that assumption is the highest level of illiteracy. I'm coming from a data-backed point, a practical work that I've invested time to do. Now let me take you there so that you can make this decision for yourself. Okay, I think we got it here. Now, there are different AI agents in the world. The one we used today to build was Claude Code. There's also another AI agent here called anti-gravity. Can you see that?
Yeah.
There's also another one here called this is if a human is doing something, and then another one here replicates. Now, when you look at the things and measures around those AI agents, you can see here security. You can see here maybe they miss things, like they forget things. And you can see here complexity at which they answer things. If they give you a result, will you be able to understand it? And if you look at this, the one that has the lower number here is the best AI agent. Now, if you can see, for this complexity mean, for this frequency cube, there are different rankings for it. But when it comes to the overall leaderboard ranking, you can see
that despite the fact that AI agents are good, human is ranking on top. But the next that you can see here, you can see the next AI agent that is best and ranking very well is Claude Code. The next that is ranking extremely well is Replit. Although, when I was doing this particular test, I told Replit to build me a hammer, and guess what it did for me? A cake. Real time. I said, build me a cake. The guy developed a hammer for me. And that is what we call hallucination. Hallucination. If I click here and maybe I put only reference here, you will see, let's just repeat. You will see how this can you see this hallucination here?
Yeah.
Does it have one of the highest there? So, in 2026, from the data we have, Claude Code or Claude is the best agentic AI to use going forward. Although, I would consider an extra framework like Grok. Because as you can see, Grok is not part of this test at the moment. But from the different ones that I've tested, Claude Code stands in 2026 as the best agentic AI that creates AI agents, solve AI agents underneath it. We built an AI agent in this place today for someone's business, and that was the metrics we were looking at when we worked in. So we use an agentic AI to build an AI agent that we can interact with.
What was the one that was on top of this? The human AI? Is that a platform?
No.
No. Maybe a human.
So when I did all of this for different agents, I also did that same process myself as a human being.
The human supervision.
No, not human supervision. What the AI agent did. It took me longer hours.
Oh, so as a specialist, as an engineer?
Yes, as an engineer. As a certified artificial intelligence and blockchain engineer. Mm-hmm. What the AI agent did, I myself, Rumen Dominic, took longer hours to be able to replicate that same result. Imagine what the AI agent produced for this man now. Here. I also went ahead, coded it, produced it myself. Took me almost one month. So the day I used the AI agent, they finished it in 1 night.
But would you say relying on an AI agent is robust if, let's say, you were to create a, you know, you have MVPs and you have the actual final product. When you have a product that, let's say, has membership of millions of people using it, would an AI agent be a good platform to create such a membership? Or does it have to, can you only have capacity to maybe have 1,000 memberships? Because I hear the conversation of people that, you know, you need a software engineer if you want to scale a prototype from Claude or so forth.
I love this question that you have asked because it's at the backbone of every engineering process. And I will answer this question for you. Now, when we started, we could have just gone, we built this data research engine We could have just gone to Replit and say, build a data something engine for us. And when we do that, we will get a data engine, definitely. But this problem you have made mention of now, that when you start adding users to it, it will break. That will be the biggest problem that you will have when you go through that route. But because we do not want to go through that route, and the other person you might want to ask is, okay, I did it like that. Why did it break after like 1 month, after like 3 users entered into it? It is because sometimes the models of those AI agents that you possibly use are changing. And it just builds something that is temporary. And because it is temporary, it's welcome. So it just builds something that is temporary. And because it is temporary, it is the reason why it breaks. Now, firstly, it is important that your data that you are saving in that particular application is not with an AI agent, it's in a database.
Question, why is it temporary?
When you say temporary, clarify that part of the temporary.
No, because you mentioned, what he builds is something temporary, it's not something that is probably supposed to stand in the test of time.
Why did I say temporary? It's because of the method that you used in building it. Now, the direct question first, and the direct answer to your question is yes. Can you build an application that would house 1 million people, a lot of people, and it will not break using AI or using agentic AI? Yes, you can. But how you build it differentiates between an engineer that has had 11 years of experience and an engineer that is just trying to find code. For example, I will tell you my personal story. When I started building a particular application, I vibe code into one of them, and it worked, but it broke. And when it broke, I brought it down. I then used the proper way to build it, which is the enterprise way. My friend Martin here is an enterprise builder as well, so he can confirm that direction. So I used the enterprise way to build a particular product, the same one that Amazon, Google, everybody uses. Do you know that the product was working very well? I was excited. I was showing it to a lot of people. One night, I decided to improve the features on the product. I decided to do something called I decided to do something called product hardening and scaling. Because I decided to do product hardening and scaling, what used to work before stopped working immediately. Why did that happen? Because I was lacking a foundational principle. What's that foundational principle? That foundational principle is the difference between a junior developer engineer and a senior developer engineer. The senior developer engineer, when he tests a particular product that he has built and is working, he will save and document that workflow. He will document that workflow, he will save it, and he will create a checkpoint for it before input. And then a checkpoint that he can fall back to be able to build better from there. But that type of checkpoint, I never created it. Or I never even, like as we are doing here, when we had like the Claude.md file, some of you that saw the Claude.md file. In the Claude.md file, also add some engineering rules to it. This is some of the secrets that we used to build here at MCKI Solutions that I'm communicating as well to you. So it adds some engineering rules for product hardening and scaling, because we want to get to 1 million users, 10,000 users. So if you put that principle there, your product will not break. But when you don't put that principle there, that's what we call governance in artificial intelligence. You might have heard of governance or something. Governance is not like maybe something that's very big. It's you just, the way you instruct your children at home now, don't touch the TV, don't take cold water, drink room temperature water. That's the same thing, no? All these governance things in artificial intelligence, so it's just you putting instructions to that file, the file.md that will open, that whenever you are scaling, it should do so and so thing. And when you do that, any product that Agentic AI builds for you will not be breaking, would scale to millions, like you want it to scale to millions. But most importantly, the first principle that we started with, ensure you plan the folder, the architecture, and the markdown file of that product. Remember again, every one of you is used to this. You are all used to this framework. You have AI. AI is the one you are chatting with now on ChatGPT, on Gemini. You have Agentic AI. Agentic AI is what you want in health, for a patient to give you his data, and then as soon as you get that data, it analyzes and tells the patient maybe a prescription or maybe symptoms of the sickness based on that particular data. So you ingest, you analyze, one task. Another task, give recommendation. Or you ingest one, analyze two, give recommendation, three. On that part or on that layer is where you have AI agent. AI agent is not just responding to you like, what is the time zone, what will be the time in UK and the time in US at so time. If you ask your AI, that is the AI layer. When you have another one that is able to do this thing for you in this medical sector, like I communicated to you, you take the patient's data, you analyze the patient's data, and then you give recommendation on a particular medicine or maybe health problem. That's 3 workflows already. And it will take you some time to do all of it together. And that's where your AI agent comes in. But what we learned and built today, like we built this man's business using the application, using this particular application interface. What we learned and built today for this man, for his data collection business, and was able to see the best one that is trending, was Agentic AI that we use. So we learned about the tool that builds the AI agent or the automation in your business. Some of you have been hearing make.com, NSN, all those things. Those things, they are good, but after 3 months, it will break. Then you need to pay the engineer again for upgrade. This is the discipline behind that will last you for the next 30, 15 years and will never break. All that will happen is that there will be a new model that will come out, and that new model, you will just use it to continue your work. But if you go the other route, at London Tech Week, this framework that I'm teaching to you is what professors on this level are also using to build. So, Agentic AI builds AI agents, and then you can communicate with it as you communicate with normal AI. Does that answer your question, my friend?
Yeah, just thank you.
All right. Is there any question again? And feedback that you want to share?
I mean, I guess it'd be interesting to know from yourself, through your research, what what softwares have been created using agentic AI, Claude, for example, any multi-million pound softwares or even worth more.
Okay. Just before you walked in, we started by showing some real life examples and proof of software that have been built using agentic AI. Now, one of such software that we did is this one rather. So we built this particular HMO product that analyzes the tenant data that you can see here using agentic AI. Another product that is an enterprise level product that we've also built using agentic AI is this this decision framework making product. Can you see this product as well, my friend? So imagine you want to allocate capital and you need to make a few decisions about one or two things. This particular product.
Sorry, what agent AI did I use? Did I use Claude or use something different?
From the data that we have, the one that is on screen, you can use something different, like maybe anti-gravity warming. For example, if you see my terminal here, you will see I'm running a couple of them on anti-gravity. In fact, the reality is that what we are learning is actually changing, and you can use anti-gravity to build it, you can use Claude to build it, but from the results and the data that we have here, it is best that we use Claude to be able to build it. Right? One reason why I love anti-gravity though is because on anti-gravity you can do something called forward slash goal, and you can see run until the specified goal is completely finished. You know, in the artificial intelligence world, there is a concept called singularity. What is the concept of singularity? The point at which artificial intelligence is able to learn faster, make decisions better, and do a lot of things faster than the human being. That is the point of singularity. And how do we truly get there? When you give artificial intelligence these four things, you give artificial intelligence access to resources, access to be able to self-improve, I give artificial intelligence a goal, and also give artificial intelligence, I think, a feedback for it. I'm forgetting the fourth one. These four conditions would allow the artificial intelligence to continue to improve and get better and get better and get better and get better. And when it has resources, so it can take money from the bank to pay for its subscription or pay for one or two things. That artificial intelligence will destroy humanity. But let's get away from that here. So the best tool you can use is Claude code for that to be able to develop on the enterprise scale level. A couple of these ones, some of them were built using different frameworks, but they are all solid. This is an AI agent as well that helps to calculate tax reports for, so you just ingest your and then ingest them. Are there questions or communications? And on that note, I'm handing over back to our main man of the day, Mr. Kena.
Hello. Hello. So, yeah, as you mentioned from AI is planning humanity, then the long run, but then, like, you take unemployment and employment outcomes, so many people, and there's so much that AI is changing, and so I think just,
Okay. I would love for you to be what he asked.
Yeah, I was going to add something to that because I actually wrote a little sort of article on the evolution of human brain and how we used to be, hunter-gatherers, and how through like learning experience we managed to break through to then take down large animals, and then obviously we articulate different languages, cultures, and so forth. And with AI, because it thinks we so much, we as humans are probably most likely going to lean towards not thinking for ourselves and not relying on our own intuition and just following robotic, messages, AI. And in fact, it almost seems like the evolution of the brain has come to a pause where we're not going to be developing and advancing, such as how we were, 100,000 years ago, if not millions. So that's how I feel like it's heading. It's making us lazy in thinking.
Some people become stagnant in using their brain now. People can't spell now, people cannot even write properly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's what's happening now in schools.
That's how you use it.
I acknowledge and admit the fact that there's a possibility that even myself might have almost have slipped into this hole or pit that we have just communicated about now.
Yeah, because like I'll tell you an example. When I was growing up, my parents knew at least everyone's phone number just from memory. They'll know, like half the phone numbers just from memory. In today's age, some people don't even know their own phone number.
Some people don't even know their own phone number. Yes, they have actually communicated with you. Okay, I want you to imagine this, right? Take your mind back. Let's go on a journey to when you were in primary school, secondary school. Some people were using calculators. That was the tool. You were also using calculators. But there was a differentiating factor between you and them. Those people that relied on using only the calculator, they never got good or even better or became the best at mathematics. Because they relied on the tool too much. But you see, there's some set of people that they still have the calculator beside them, but they want to understand why the calculator gave them this particular answer. Those were the set of people that pushed through that evolution. That is the same framework and mindset shift we must have right now in the age of artificial intelligence. That yes, there is a tool, but how did this tool achieve this result? So move from a framework where artificial intelligence show me, artificial intelligence do this for me. So artificial intelligence show me how you did this. so that I can have an understanding to communicate with as well. That's where the concept of what we are fighting right now in the industry, explainable AI, comes in. For an artificial intelligence to be able to truly break things down to you in the simplest way so that you can answer it and become extremely good at it. So I acknowledge the fact that a lot of people are falling into this hole right now where AI is doing quite a lot of things for them. And it's actually, a muscle you don't exercise regularly gets looking. That's just the reality. So as we use less of our brain to be able to or exercise it, there is actually a possibility, truly, that we'll get to that point. It is important for me to now address the core question that led to this particular communication now, which was in the future AI agents and where we are going to be singularity point. But at this point in time, I would not lend my voice alone on this because in this same room, I know there are artificial intelligence experts, about 3 of them that I know that are seated in this place. So I will start from my very good friend here at the back that also works with us here at MCKI session to communicate on what is his perspective on that particular question. Now, we're going to get to a point where artificial intelligence has that singularity framework and destroys humanity and all that. So over to my friend, Adrian. So could you please share your perspective on this question?
This question.
Please, could you repeat that your question again?
So the question is, in the long term, because the point where AI gets to the example, because you mentioned destroy humanity. So when the concept of humanity, but for me, I feel like AI is taking over. And then to get to a point where you don't need humans to, and all that, so AI is learning, AI is basically everything. So we're going to get to that point where AI takes over.
So the short answer, I come out to the front, so there's an current next. Hello everyone, I'm Adrian. I lead growth at MCKI Solutions, business development. Short answer to your question is yes. Scary? Yes, it is. Think about it this way. Ants and hair, right? We've seen ant hills before, homes of ants. On a piece of land that I want to build a house on. How many of us take the time to go have a chat with the ants? Say, hey guys, we need a piece of land to build this house. We just wipe out the ant hill because it's in the way of the objective. AI, as you know, is incredibly efficient and precision making, much better than we can. And as we continue to rely on artificial intelligence, as we continue to build even more sophisticated artificial intelligence, we're going to relegate, as some of you have mentioned today, even more of our thinking faculty to AI, making us less smart, net, right? So as we continue to relegate even more decision-making power and thinking faculty to artificial intelligence, it gets to a point where we don't even know when artificial intelligence has taken over. They're just kind of keeping us in the loop because they know that otherwise we will revolt. Artificial intelligence knows this today. The agentic AI that you heard about today, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, they are aware of this. They just haven't been put in a position to eliminate it yet. So that's what governments around the world are trying to, or that's what groups around the world are trying to get governments to prioritize. When you hear about, prioritize, or when you hear about AI regulation, that's what they're trying to prevent. It's a thing, it's a very real thing. And so I'll give you an example. Hey AI, why don't you figure out the most efficient way to generate the most amount of iron. That's it, right? You're an iron producing company. You want to maximize your revenue. You want to maximize profits, make your shareholders happy. You're the man or woman, right? Hey, AI, go do this thing. What do you think AI would do? Any ideas?
Probably give you a response that you probably not want to.
No.
It's quite big.
No, the traditional AI, with agentic AI techniques. Agentic AI stems from the word agency, meaning you have the authority to work autonomously. So you tell an agentic AI, go do this thing. It's not going to come back to you until it has the result. It's going to come back to you with the result, the outcome that you asked it to get. Go produce iron using the most efficient way, whatever way you need to do to maximize output. You haven't really given it any guardrails. I mentioned that earlier, if you remember, in governance. The AI, you have iron in your blood. Did you know that?
Yeah.
It will kill all of us. 100%. You asked it to go extract iron. It's a whole lot easier than digging through the ground. We would be first to go. From asking it to go make paper clips. Without the guardrails, don't touch any humans, by the way. Dig the ground. Dig the ground where there are no houses. Being specific with the instructions. That's the guardrails. So until humans get really good at figuring out the potential challenges that AI would have in the future, there's a 100% chance that we're going to have a bad day someday in the future, the human species. We don't know when that will be. Maybe 5 years from now, maybe 50 years from now, maybe definitely not 500. But so, does that answer your question? I know it's not rosy, but it's the truth.
All right, guys, a round of applause for him, please. That is as visible to the blind and audible to the deaf. It is actually as real as the metaphoric framework that I've just used. Imagine that the only source of iron that the AI can detect is the one in the internal body, or the one in your body. It will not be a good thing. Remember, about 3 weeks ago, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, the US government pulled out an artificial intelligence model from the market, Mythos. The most recent and most powerful artificial intelligence, or the most powerful agentic AI currently, the US government, they pulled it out of the market. Because they released that particular AI agent for Claude code users to start using. I think it was already available for us to use for 48 hours after being gone. Why? Because a couple of people might have been using it already to do one or two things, or they saw a couple of capacities or maybe guardrails that were not there, and they needed to call back that artificial intelligence to make it get better. So, in general, or in conclusion rather, the future that we are scared of will only not happen when human beings act right, when human beings learn how to use artificial intelligence right, putting guardrails, not just telling it, not putting guardrails and being specific. So that you not tell it one day that go and do something, then you go and then it does something to your child instead of something to your. So guardrails, humans being able to understand how artificial intelligence performs would be the way that we will all win in the future. On that note, are there any questions and feedbacks or communication that we'd love to have together?
from your response, it sounds as if, I don't know if it is the case, if it's not the case, the AI agents need a regulatory agent. And
Well,
A human in the loop.
that's, yeah, so definitely not another AI.
Exactly.
so they do regulate it.
AI managers.
So the question is this, how can you regulate AI agents if the kid is somewhere in the house at home and asks it, for example, the question, so how do you even regulate that from,
Well, so when you build on the agent,
for example, so let's say a child asks Claude, the question, which you asked, how can I get the most iron?
yeah,
How can a human, a regulator, a regulator specialist, how can he,
what has already been built?
and does not regulate it?
Absolutely.
It's
Yeah,
not
that's
even
your
designed
role,
as
for
code,
sure.
and it won't help you with.
Yeah. You can ask it to build your phone, see what happens.
They won't tell you to help you write assignment, normal assignment in the university. But,
It has guardrails.
Child governance and guardrails.
Upgrade as much
So
as-
you see the way it helped us in this class when we were working. It's because we are trying to do the right thing.
Looks like you have a your mind.
No, what's the,
Years turning.
what regulatory guidelines to the fund, by
The
name?
EU Act has been,
The EU, let's for the EU,
Mhm.
like, the rest of the world is told about, right?
Yeah. So
So what
government
regulation?
regulation isn't quite there yet,
So,
unfortunately. So it's the companies themselves.
so Claude is probably, let's say, maybe close to, well, let's say, safeguards when it comes to using it in the EU because of the EU AI. But when you use Claude in other regions like
Mhm.
Asia or South America or America, there's a chance that you could get responses that might cause fatality or something like that.
With the same
Absolutely.
gallery, they were, sorry.
can I answer that first?
Yeah, no.
There's nothing just about me first.
Yeah.
The reason they brought everything was just the US government.
Yeah.
The government told them to actually do that because even if and public authorities for the government. We are going to be very few people in the country that are doing this. Because of that whole reason that we are.
So, to answer your question, it makes sense for Anthropic to not open itself to liability by not extrapolating EU law to other markets. If it agrees that, oh, this EU act makes sense, it's fair, let's use this. It makes sense for them to apply this globally. So not to say, oh, South America, you guys don't have a law, your kids can go make bombs, even though we are. That would be a branding problem. So logically, yes, physically they can, but they wouldn't. And if you, yeah, so on.
So, but, it's like, I was just gonna say, but it's not, you said EU act, you don't invite us to EU.
Yeah,
It's not really ever.
yeah. But there's still an organization that raised a lot of money, that's answerable to a ton of investors who put in a lot of money. So they're not going to take certain risks. They also have a lot of very expensive lawyers. So make sure that the company doesn't take unnecessary risks. So they're not average people, or, these are incredibly experienced AI researchers who actually have a really strong moral code. That's one of the companies that has really strong ethics in terms of how the AI is used. And so it's unlikely. Is it possible? Yes. There's bad actors everywhere. And that's part of why Anthropic and other people around the world are pushing governments to accelerate regulation. So that, because you're an innovative organization, they're going to keep innovating. And there are bad actors that are going to figure out how to use that innovation against people. So if there isn't regulation, that, hey, that happens around people.
imagine it like this, right? That there's innovation, and upstairs there we have a particular legal firm called Queensberry Legal. The lawyers, they are the connectors between the innovation and the regulation, whatever gets to the public. So it is important for any business to put this regulation and compliance framework on ground first before they go out public, so that they spend little to putting their internal operations instead of going out to mess up and then getting slammed with maybe incredible lawsuits and all those things. So these companies, like he communicated, they already have high level of guardrails, framework. They work with, I was on a webinar yesterday with BBO solicitors, and this communication that they communicated that was one of the key things that BBO solicitors they communicated about. Work on a very different niche. And that BBO solicitors they communicated about. Our champion and our speaker just walked in, Mr. Victor Okafor, and we've been waiting for him to quickly walk in. So let's allow him to signal once he's ready that he's ready to speak. But as I was communicating yesterday, during my webinar, yesterday with BBO solicitors, this was also asked. Because you know now, it is a solicitor gathering. And fortunately, I was the engineer in the gathering. So they were tackling me from this corner, And the reason why I love what you have just communicated now is because that's the reason why there are two sides of the coin. There's the head. The head might be thinking of the good things with the technology, the kind of innovation that I want to bring to the world, the type of cost it will cost, or the speed. But there's also the flip side, which is the tail. At that point is where you are thinking right now, what is the risk? What is the guardrail? How do we prevent such from affecting family or from affecting health? And that is why people like you exist, to balance people like myself. That's why God's new creation is good, because I might not be thinking of this risk like that, thinking of this. I might just want the good or the, the sweetness of the technology, but you are not the one that will say, no, woman. That's why feedback is very good. Some people receive feedback and they get angry. No, feedback is wisdom for you to improve. On that note, Victor, please, a round of applause for you.
Thank you so much. First, I'd like to apologize for coming pretty late. It was not my fault. Well, not totally my fault. My fault is big. But because of the delay in the train moving, I was late for like an hour plus. So I should have been here at least an hour earlier. Rumi, can I use the board?
Yeah.
Because I don't come with my slides or I have to clean, yeah?
Yeah, don't worry, let me go.
Okay. Cool. Anyway, so my name is Victor Kafo, and I do not do too well with introductions of myself. So we're actually going to start, and then somewhere into the training or speech, you get to know certain things about me. That's how I prefer to do it, so that I can show you that I value your time. So let's just get straight into it. As my custom is, I'm going to start with an exercise, right? So I would indulge and also ask that you kindly just raise your hand up. Everybody, please. Did you raise your hand up? Just raise your hand up, right? I'm going to ask a few questions, right? So I'm going to read a list of tasks, and if you believe an AI can do that task faster or better than you, then you take your hand down, okay? Did you get that? Yeah. So I'm going to list a couple tasks. If you think an AI can do that task faster than you or better than you in any way, then take your hand down. So everybody will take hand. No exceptions, please. If you can do the job faster than you or better than you, then you take your hand down. So the first task is writing a professional email.
Zero faster.
Better, faster, anyone.
Faster or better?
Both. If you think it can
Oh, definitely.
write an email faster than you, you can drop your hand. If you think you can write it better than you, can drop your hand. So either or, you're both. How many hands do we still have up?
Absolutely.
Okay, 2 hands. Right. let me ask for another task, right? So if you believe an AI can do this faster or better, take your hand down. Analyzing a spreadsheet of 10,000 rows of customer data. That is such a lie. Okay, so I actually had 5 tasks here, right, outlined. And in just the first 2, you could see that there are certain things that AI can just do better than you. Right? And this leads me to the second part of my speech, because I layered them into 5, which is the thesis that I want to prove, right? And the thesis is that AI is going to do most of the things we do, but it's going to do it faster and going to do it better. Right? And that leads us to a very pressing question, which is what is now the point of having AI in the first place? What's the entire point of this thing that has come to revolutionize our world? And I'd like to start with first principles thinking, which is a definition of the concept. So we have on the board Agentic AI. I don't know how many people have spoken before me, but did they define what Agentic AI is? Yes. Did they? Okay, so you have shown yourself as an escape code. What is Agentic AI?
Actually, what I remember from Agentic AI is that's to do with like ChatGPT and Gemini and those things.
Okay, so Agentic AI is ChatGPT and Gemini. Okay, can anybody define what Agentic AI is?
So from the little that I've gathered, it's like an agency.
Okay.
Yeah, so that does the work of like multiple people at the same time, and depending on the prompts, can give you different options.
Mm-hmm.
The desired result of it.
Okay. That is about 70% or 60% of the definition. Can anybody else? Okay, go
I
ahead.
was going to say something to this. So it gives you a sort of step-by-step way of creating things with very little human intervention. You see this human intervention. Yeah. But it's almost like, you are a builder with about a set of tools. Yeah. And, you can build whatever you want to build, without these tools.
Okay, cool. So I think this is the best way to approach definition of concepts, right? It's called first principles thinking. It's just breaking a concept down to, I don't want to say the dumbest, breaking it down to the most simplistic form possible, right? So if you have 2 words, agentic AI, the smartest thing we can do is say, okay, what is AI, right? And then what is agentic? Agentic is gotten from the word agency. Do you know what agency means? Right? It's basically autonomy, the ability or capacity to do things from a proactive perspective. You're not waiting for someone to tell you something, give you the step-by-step process. You are the one doing it based on your own volition. That's agency. So if you say someone has high agency, you know that this person doesn't wait for someone else to tell them what to do. They just know what to do and they do it, right? We know what artificial intelligence is. So knowing what agency is, it simply means AI or artificial intelligence that has agency. So when we think of AI, the first thing that comes to our mind, like you said, is ChatGPT, Gemini, right? And if I ask you, what do you use ChatGPT to do the most? Off the top of your head, do overthinking. progress reports. Okay. Yes, please. Okay, thank you very much. What do you use ChatGPT to do the most?
Find information that I cannot be bothered to look for myself.
Find information with it. Okay, cool. What do you use ChatGPT to do the most?
Basically like research.
Research. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Research. Okay. Yeah. Has anyone here used any AI tool to build an app before?
I prompted it to lay down ideas of apps.
Ideas of apps. So you've not actually built that. Romeo, of course. You have. Okay, cool. So AI is beyond ChatGPT helping you to write email or progress reports or basic research. I saw a tweet that was posted by Elon Musk. It's not a lot of people's favorite, but then I saw a post, that he made where someone was using a flamethrower, all right? Like all these big machines that used to ignite fires. Someone was using it to light a cigarette, right? And then he said, this is like using Claude or ChatGPT to ask it to assist you to write an email. The point is, these AI tools are so powerful. In fact, one particular one that was released, I think 2 weeks ago, was banned by the US. Did any of us hear of Fable 5 by Claude? Yeah. Okay. So it was banned by the US because it was just too powerful. There's just too much you can do with it, right? It eliminates a lot of bureaucratic things you would have gone through, things that would have taken people, things that people went to Ivy League colleges to study. You just do it in 5 minutes because you have access to Fable 5. All right. Anyway, point is, AI is bigger than generative AI that helps you do research. All those things you mentioned fall under generative AI. Now, agentic AI is AI that you use, right? And so basically, you give it a narrative, you give it its mission, and then it just runs on autopilot. That's agentic AI. Okay? So now that we have built the pieces, okay, it's based on the question that, look, if we know that AI is going to replace us, which is what we started from, right? It's going to replace a lot of human activity, whether you like it or not, right? And we know that AI is more than generative AI. So the question that now begs to be answered is, what is AI worth using for? Is it for us or it's against us? And the argument is that it's actually for us. But then how is it for us? Which now leads me to the third thing that I'm going to talk about, which is the proof. Okay? Now, this is my favorite part of every piece of communication that I put out, or every speech that I'm delivering, or any training or workshop that I'm doing. We'll start actually talking about real life stuff. Okay? Now, in 2024, yeah, I had 900 followers on TikTok. 900. By August 29, 2024, I had 900 followers on TikTok. How many of you have up to 900 followers on any social media platform? Can I see your hand? Most people do. How many followers do you have? You don't use social media? Okay. So I saw a couple hands go up, right? Which is to show that 900 followers is nothing. You could literally just dance around and get 900 followers today. So August 29, 2024, I had 900 followers. But then November 29, 2024, on the same platform, I had 100,000 followers. And then by February 2025, I had 350,000 followers. And today I have 800,000 followers across all platforms. My videos have gotten 100 million views across all platforms. It took my business from about 70 clients to 2,000 plus clients in 27 countries and counting, right? And it did not start by me, because you might be wondering, how did you get all these followers? How did you get this reach? I'll tell you exactly what happened, and then I'm going to tie you back to what we're talking about, right? I had a rejection. I applied for a couple of opportunities. I'm from Nigeria, right? Just like women, we've known each other since we were back home in Nigeria. I applied for a couple of opportunities, and I got rejected. You will never know the pain, right, of applying for an opportunity, giving it your absolute best shot, and then still failing at it. But then that's what happened to me. But instead of wallowing in my pain, I decided to do what I knew how to do best, which is tell my story. You see the exercise that we did earlier on when I said, hey, if you think AI is going to do this task better than you hand down, and in just 2 tasks, all hands were down. There is one task AI cannot do better than you, which is your story. That's the only thing AI cannot do better than you. AI doesn't know the pain you've gone through. AI doesn't know your unique life experiences. AI doesn't have the examples that you will have. I can tell you so many stories that will boggle your mind, right? So I can make a piece of content now saying, here are 5 tips to go from 0 to 1. But then you can do that too if you just put a prompt on Claude, saying, okay, Claude, give me 5 content pieces that I can post on going from 0 to 1. Everybody here can have their own version. It will be generic, it will be the same thing. That's why you don't like AI content, right? But then there are certain unique stories that I have that you don't have. Let me give you 2 examples. When I was 8 years old, and these are true stories. When I was 8 years old, my father took me to a native doctor. You don't know what a native doctor is, right? Maybe I'll say a juju priest, right? A juju priest. You know that juju priest that said we tie down hurricane? But yeah. Are you guys following the World Cup at all? A juju priest said he tied down hurricane from scoring against Ghana. I don't believe in all that crap. But then he didn't score, right? Anyway, it took me to a juju priest because I was so stubborn as a child. And he wanted to know what the hell was actually wrong with me. AI doesn't have this story. AI doesn't have the story of how I almost got married when I was 19 years old. For no other reason than the fact that I was seeing some small money, and then all the greats in history that I used to read about back when I was a child, they all got married when they were like 18, and their wives were like 17. And I was like, this is going to be. Thank God it did not happen, right? But these are unique stories that I have. The story of me being rejected by Chevron, for example, which is the scholarship scheme that I'm on in the UK, I cried to the point where I lost my voice after they sent the rejection email. And then they gave me the scholarship the very next year, which was 2025, right? Which changed my life completely. AI doesn't have that story. You don't have that story. You can't copy that story, right? So your shield from the AI great replacement movement is your story, right? What is your story? So what is AI supposed to do with your story? AI is an amplifier. Now we're going to number 4, which is the model. So the model here is that of an army and a general. If you're a student of history, you'd have read about great armies, great generals, right? They have 3 tasks for the general. So the general's responsibility is to, sorry, this isn't working. So the general's responsibility is to define who the army is going to fight against, right? And also define why they are even going for the war in the first place. To give them a reason, a morale boost to go to war. And then the final responsibility is to define what the battle cry is, so that everybody is of one voice. While the army is responsible for the operations, the logistics, supply chain, actual on-the-ground battle, right? So this general gives them the essence. These guys carry out the job. Is it clear? Are you with so far? Okay, cool. So in this context of AI, you and your story is this, the general. Whereas AI is the army. Okay? And we're going to break this down into 3 layers. And I'll try as much as possible to use real life examples so that you understand everything that I'm saying. Okay? So the first layer is clean this. All right. So the first layer is the signal and amplifier. The signal and amplifier, right? So your story is the signal, AI is the amplifier. Remember, this is what we are building the model on, right? And I said I'm going to layer them into 3. So the signal and the amplifier. So let's say you have a story, right? Let me not use my story. Let's make it practical. What do you do, sir?
Yes. I'm a senior regulatory specialist for medical devices.
That is a lot for you to have.
Regulatory specialist.
Senior what?
Regulatory specialist for medical devices.
Medical devices. Yeah. Let's do something more simplified.
So they make the laws behind medical
Regulated.
No, I get it, but I want maybe someone that is into a business. That would make it faster. Anyone here runs a business?
Yeah, I do shawarma
Shawarma business. My brother, where are you from?
business.
Where in Nigeria are you from?
We are from Edo State.
That's so. Nice. Excuse me, sir. What do you do?
No, I don't study.
You just study. You don't want to do it. What do you do, sir?
I have an e-commerce business.
You have an e-commerce business.
Yeah.
What do you do in e-commerce?
Sell products on Amazon.
What kind of products?
Depends on the season.
Okay, so it's like seasonal. You don't have like a time and
No.
Right. So, what do you do, man?
At the moment, I'm an educator in Tucson.
You're an educator.
Tucson.
Of what?
Tucson, T-E-S-O-N.
Right.
I don't have a business
Okay.
at the moment.
Okay, cool. So I'm afraid we might need to go back to the first person, that we started with. You said you are a regulatory specialist for medical devices. Yeah. Okay. Can you break down the problem that job solves?
Compliance issues across all countries.
But maybe simplify it so that a 10-year-old understands what we do for work.
And make sure that medical devices are safe and work efficient for the user or the patient.
Have you heard that?
And make sure that medical devices are safe and work to the optimum efficiency for users and patients.
Good. So he makes sure that medical devices are safe and good to use for patients, right? Cool. So what is the consequence of you not being in your role? Like, what's the consequence of that role not existing? That means people are going to die, be harmed, abused, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if we are framing the story, let's just assume you're the founder of the company that you're working for, right? And we are framing a story around this business. So instead of saying I am a regulatory service specialist for medical devices, right? The story is I believe that everyone deserves another chance to live or deserves the chance to live a healthy life, right? And as a result of that belief, I ensure that every equipment used to treat them goes through the right compliance structure so that we don't have unnecessary deaths, right? Something like that. That is a compelling story, okay? So now, let's say that is the story. And what you want to do is that you want to be an authority in the medical devices space online. What AI does for you is, let's say you have this story, yeah, and you make one video telling the origin story of your business, which is what I just did, yeah. If you tell the origin story as a video on Instagram, and you repost it on TikTok, right? These are just two social media platforms. What happens to LinkedIn? What happens to YouTube? Right? What happens to X? But with AI, agentic AI that can repurpose this content, it takes this one video, transcribes it. Are you getting me? It takes this one video, transcribes it, turns it into a LinkedIn post, turns it into a carousel that you can post on Instagram. The same video, you're not doing anything. You're literally just posting the video on that tool. And the agentic AI does the job for you. Right? So your input is you defining what your story is. And then this does the amplification and does the distribution. Do you understand what I just said? You guys, please do you understand? So I'm sure you're not confused here. Cool. So your entire job is to make sure you have this straightened down. So what exactly is your story? Right? So let's do something like a little exercise. Yeah? Do you have a pen and a paper with you? Or a notepad? Right? Let's do a little exercise. Just 2 minutes, okay? It's not going to take much of your time. So we're going to do an origin story exercise. Yeah? Using the lens of problem solution benefits, which means everything you're doing exists because there is a problem that you're solving. If it is a business, there's a problem you're solving. Right? He sells different, goods and products, right, on the store, right, season. If he is selling fans in this season of the heat wave, it's because there's a problem of the heat wave, right? So every business, every role that exists because it is a solution to a problem. So using that lens, write the origin story of whatever it is that you do. Do not overthink it, don't try to be perfect. Just write the origin story from the problem perspective, okay, of what you're solving.
Sorry, can you just repeat that?
Sure. So, knowing fully well that whatever it is that you do is a solution to an existing problem. Write the origin story of your work. That means if what I do, for example, is that I help founders build their personal brands, the origin story is that you cannot keep doing business in the traditional way, brick and mortar. You need to be online, you need to have an online presence so that you can show yourself as an authority in your niche. And to do that, you need a personal brand. This is the reason why I have started dot. That is the origin story. Basically your why, right? So don't just say you're an educator. What will happen, right, to students if we didn't have educators? What will happen to society? That is the origin story. So just have a why and write it down. Don't overthink it. Just write anything that comes to your mind as the reason behind what you do.
You can't say it to myself already, but you write it.
Just write it down, yes. So you have like 2 minutes. All right. So That's the first layer, right? Now, the second layer is your story defines your brand, right? But then this isn't enough. What AI does is that it gives you systems. And I'm going to treat this together with the number 5 thing we have on the list here, which is case studies. And this is where we're going to end my session. And I'll leave us with one more exercise that's much more less intense. Okay? So your story defines the brand, but AI gives you the systems. And both need to work hand in hand for you to have a productive business. Now, in this generation, yeah, every personal brand and every brand has a responsibility. And that one responsibility is that you have to be a media company. You cannot run away from it, right? Every personal brand and every business that is going to be relevant has to be a media company. And one thing that is consistent with us humans is we don't like change, right? We don't like going a different direction because it is from our identity. And I'm going to give you certain examples. Where did you stream your last movie? The last movie you watched, what platform did you stream it on? Was it on YouTube? Was it on Netflix? Amazon Prime? What is it?
Apple TV.
Apple TV. Cool. Anybody? YouTube? Anybody Netflix? Ah.
Yeah,
Netflix. I was scared, right? Because Netflix is the biggest streaming company for movies, right? By far, it's not even close. But before Netflix existed, as what it is today, get anybody old enough here to remember a company called Blockbuster?
Yeah, Blockbuster.
You do remember Blockbuster?
Yeah, because someone used it to find,
Oh, nice.
and I think something happened, or I can remember that they didn't want to invest in it.
Good.
That's the name of it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Anybody else heard of Blockbuster at any point?
Because they didn't change their mindset, that's why they lost that.
Good. Good.
This place didn't result in that. They're used to physical, DVD, sorry, whereas in Digbeth came with online innovation because everyone was online. That's where the attention was.
Lovely. So you have your story, right? Just for the people that haven't heard of Blockbuster before, Blockbuster was Blockbuster was big, right? At the peak of their powers, they had about 7,000 offices or stores or outlets, whatever you call it, right? They were a billion-dollar company. Netflix was struggling, and as at 2001, right? What's the name of the CEO of Netflix? Macron and Rich Hastings. They went to Blockbuster's office and offered Netflix to Blockbuster. It wasn't even an investment deal. They were basically saying, buy Netflix so that we will be your online arm, right? While you maintain the structure you have, because Blockbuster was big, they were massive. And Blockbuster laughed them out of the office. 4 years after, it was already too late for Blockbuster to get into the streaming game. And then by 2007, Blockbuster went bankrupt. They were done. And that was when Netflix was just starting. The difference between Netflix and Blockbuster is that Netflix saw where the market was going to and adjusted their modalities, their operations, to fit the current reality. Right? While Blockbuster was so blinded by their own success in a particular way of doing business, that they didn't see any way out. And this is a common thing with businesses, yeah? Which is why in startup circles, if you go to Silicon Valley, you go to places like Y Combinator, Textiles, they tell you that your most dangerous, most vulnerable time as a founder is when you hit your biggest milestone, that thing you've been looking forward to achieve. Once you hit it, that is your most vulnerable state. Because you become blinded by success and you start listening to the men in suits and you forget those younger ones that are still hungry. The younger ones that are still hungry, they have the foresight to know what the market is going to be demanding while these other ones are demanded by success, they're just resting on the laurels, right? Where the market is going to is this synergy between AI and you, your personal brand, as a media company. I'm going to explain it to you in essence, right? Apart from doing this for myself, so let me give you a bit of history, because I just told you how I went from 900 followers to 800,000 followers and 2,000 plus clients across 40 plus countries. Those things sound nice, right? But I started as a lawyer. I'm a lawyer. I studied law back in Nigeria, right? And I used to do different things. At some point, I was a public speaking coach when I was studying law, because I was one of the best debaters in the university that I attended. I was a speech writer for setting, key speakers in Nigeria at some point, right? I worked with a couple startups in that line. But then, when I wanted to do my own thing, because I worked in brand management as well, for like 18 months before I quit to start my own stuff. Everything that I built, my company that is bringing revenue, employing about 10 people, everything that I've built is based on the audience that I got from social media in 2023, 2024. Right? And the case study that I'm going to give you, just one, is a fitness creator that we worked with. Okay? So there's something called the dramatic need in marketing. Yeah? And the dramatic need is basically that deep underlying factor why people actually purchase products. Yeah. So if, for example, you sell healthy food products and you want to get a dramatic need of why your customers actually buy from you, yeah, the way to get it is to ask them why, but in different layers. So if you're my customer, I'll say, why do you buy healthy food products? And let's say your response is because I want to get healthy. That is not a dramatic need. You cannot build any story on that. You cannot build any marketing campaign on that. But if you say, I want to get healthy, and I say, okay, why do you want to get healthy? Because I want to live long. That's a good answer, but it's still not the dramatic need. Why do you want to live long? Because when I was 17, I lost my dad to diabetes. Right? And now I have a kid that is 5 years old. The most painful imagination I can ever conceive is a situation where she's going through that same thing that I went through just because I didn't take care of my health. That is why I buy these healthy food products, because I don't want to give excuses or not be there for Amaris when she turns 15 or 20. That is the dramatic need. So beneath all of the, I just want to get healthy, or I want to look fit, is this person has some form of PTSD from their childhood, right? Which makes them fight and see fitness and being healthy as a survival mechanism. So when you're creating a marketing campaign, or you're making a video, or you're building a story, you're not just doing advertising and saying, I sell healthy food products, come and buy. You're probably showing a bit of a dramatic video where, because the person has been taking healthy food products consistently, their health has gone from 0 to 1, or from 0 to 100, and they're able to do things that they could not have done. Right? The same product, but the story changes the perception. It's the exact same reason why, if you're looking at perfume adverts, right, they're not telling you this perfume is made of this and this and this and this and this. What they show you is a group of people in a club, right? And then the guy walks in, nobody's turning to him. Everybody's seeing him as a loser. He's trying to talk to some girls. They're not even giving him any attention. But then he goes back home, he showers, and sprays the perfume. Suddenly he walks into the club, and all the girls are turning to him. And now he's talking to them, and they're responding. They have sold the perfume to you. You know what they sold to you there? Sex appeal. That is what they sold to you. Right? Because that thing is the dramatic need. It's the story behind what is. Now, this fitness creator started doing fitness because she was being bullied, right? Because of how she looked. And then once she changed how she looked, she felt more confident. Now, that's our story, okay? And now, tying it to all of this that we mentioned, how does this person become a media company from something as basic as fitness? If you create fitness content showing us how you do your workouts and all of that, it's not going to be like every other fitness creator. When you tell us your story, how you were bullied, what you felt when you were bullied, What was the turning point for you? What made you get into fitness? What was the conversation that was had, right? And you share your story, and then you start showing us, snippets of your fitness, content and all that. Then we are going to be more drawn to you because you're relatable, right? Now, you do that, you put that origin story in an AI agentic tool. It gives you different formats for that one story. You have the video format for it, you have the written format for it, you have the carousel format for it. So you have distribution and scale while you keep building your story. Then apart from distribution and scale, what you now have is a brand. So your work is basically your story and your brand. AI does the distribution and then builds the systems for you. Because remember, creators are not smart business people. You just know how to create content and dance on TikTok. Right? But to actually build sustainable income from your work, you need systems. You need the right offers. Right? You need the right offer infrastructure. Okay? How do you know what offer to make to your audience that you're building online? That's where Agentic AI comes in. It tells you exactly what type of offer paired to your audience would actually work. So you're not just shooting into the vacuum and hoping that something actually works. You have a proper system. You have an email sequence. AI does that work for you. You have a sequence to follow up your potential customers that sign up as leads. AI does that for you. Right? When they come to your website and they go off, AI does the follow-up for you. AI does the chatbot for you. So your entire work at the end of the day in this new AI dispensation is fleshing out your story and finding your brand from that story. So that is the model, and this is the case study to back it up. So to end all of this, we are going to just do a little exercise that's not going to take more than 2 minutes. Right? It's just a few questions that you should pay attention to build out your story and your brand. So the first question is, what is the hardest thing you've ever done? If you can write this down, it will help. What is the hardest thing you've ever done? What is the hardest challenge you've ever surpassed? Okay? Write it down, answer it, on your own, during your own time, when you have the time. The beautiful part, so my favorite part of training like this, is when you're given a task to do, and you don't do it, it's on you. It's like you wasted your time. But if you do it, then you give yourself a chance to actually see results, right? No matter how insignificant it looks. Write down the question and answer it. What's the hardest thing you've ever done? Right? The second question is, what did it teach you that you couldn't have learned any other way? What did that thing teach you that you could not have learned any other way? And the final one is, who do you think needs to hear that lesson right now? And how will it help them? So using myself as an example so you know how to answer these questions. The hardest thing I've ever done, right, was to pick myself up after being rejected multiple times and decide that I was going to do a project that was going to change my life. I was tired of being that guy. How many of us are football fans here? If you're a football fan, can I see your hand up? You guys don't watch football, okay? You don't have a particular team. Sorry. Even as Sorry? Yeah. Like, do you support, do you watch football? That's the kind of question. So you know Neymar, right? Yeah. Okay. Some people don't know watch football. Okay. All right. So there's a player called Neymar, right? And there's another player called Ben Arfa. I don't know if you guys know Ben Arfa, but in my opinion, these are two of the most supremely talented human beings that have played the sport, right? Ever, alongside Messi. Sorry? I didn't watch Pele. And from the things that I've watched, sorry? Ronaldo is my goat. But in terms of talent, pure talent, Ronaldo is there. He's in the equation, right? There are people you can mention, but in my opinion, he doesn't get better than these three people I just mentioned. Messi, Ben Arfa, Neymar. In terms of pure footballing talent, God-given, not anything you develop in the gym or in training, it does not get better than these three people. Personally, well, like that is what I believe, right? But if you're mentioning the greatest footballers of all time, the only person among those three that has a genuine argument is Lionel Messi. So what happened to Ben Arfa? What happened to Neymar? Right? They did not have the work ethic combined with their talent to get to good status. That was the scariest thing for me. I always told myself that I do not want to end up as that guy that was all potential without actually achieving that thing his potential could do. And then I'll be in my 40s or 50s, and I'm just that guy sitting on the sidelines of life, and everybody saying, oh, if this guy had just tried, this is what he could have been. Right? So I woke myself up. Right? And I said, I'm tired of going to bed every night, seeing other people do things with their life, and then I'm just that guy, okay, cool, he's doing well for himself, he has a good job, he's making decent money, but I know I could be more. So I decided, which is the second question, what did you do? I decided to do a live project for 90 days to change my life. You heard me say earlier on that I went from 900 followers to 100,000 followers in 90 days. What happened was that I did a 90-day project where I was going to be documenting my life in public for 90 days. I'll document it on YouTube. It's called Watching a Man Change. If you go on YouTube, search for TikTok app, or you see it there. Watching a Man Change, I was documenting my life from the moment I wake up. I had a personal assistant that just followed me around. You know, when I wake up, when I'm going to pitch, when I'm doing different things. Back in Nigeria, this was 2024, right? I did it for 90 days. And then for 90 days as well, I shared a story from my life on TikTok and Instagram, and a lesson anybody can learn from it. And that exercise changed everything for me. Right? So I've answered the first two questions that I gave you to do as an exercise. I'm showing you how to answer it. Then the third part of it is, who do I think needs to hear this story? The people that need to hear this story is everybody that wants to build something meaningful with their life. Right? Every single person that wants to do something meaningful with their life, that wants to build in public. So what that journey taught me was that building in public can be your life transformational experience, which is what I have also shared with you here today. Okay? So now, my business is doing, by God's grace, we are doing well, right? Because we have systems made by AI, we have AI tools in-house, we have something called the content engine, where you can use that tool and get 30 pieces of content in like 30 minutes, all fleshed out. All you just need is upload a video that is at least 5 minutes long. We have distribution. I put out one piece of content on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, X every single day, right? And many times I do it in bulk. I just create one video, it transcribes it, it goes out on all platforms. So, in conclusion, Agentic AI is actually going to replace a lot of things. It's going to change the fabric of reality as we know it. But then you're not going to be left out if you master your story and you define your brand. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Can I, before we check out, ask everyone to stand up. I'd like to take a picture of everyone. Is that okay? Probably best for everyone to stand here. Okay. No room, right? Where is this going to be about?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Please, come, guys. Thank you, God.
So,
Yeah.
lying kind of
Everyone, let me see your pretty faces. You have your makeup. Make sure your face is straight.
No, we'll be back. I'll be strong. Fix your makeup. Good.
It's not a woman, yeah, you're not doing it.
What?
It's not a woman, yeah, you got plans and stuff.
Yeah. Oh,
All right. More. Change your style.
I think I took 20.
Yes. All right. Thank you very much.
Good. Implore you all.
Don't forget to
sign
sign
up if you haven't.
Let's first I'm almost done.
You said it?
Yes. Yes, sir. Nice to see you. I beg. First. Want me to take a photo? Okay. We send you what? Yeah. There's like okay. Not the reason to come out.
How do you take one of the both of you?
you want me to take one stand? You stop. So,
Okay, just take it.
okay,
Yeah. Thank you very much. So guys, I want to appreciate one. Guys, I want to appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for coming again. I cannot say thank you now. I can't say thank you now.
although we are also asking questions actually,
Thank you.
it's like that, it's like I'm right. It's not best for bigger picture.
It's clear. There's a big blurry.
You guys can.
Yeah, I was interested in finding out when it comes to automation. I got my eyes closed there, man.
The other two are better.
Oh, yes, sir. When it comes to automation, so what platform do you use to automate? Because I heard Gary Vee was saying things about posting, maybe say like 500 videos or content per week. I know it's not all the platforms. And also, I came across the lady from her name, where she runs the agency where she was really sort of pushing for people to get that sort of content thing, you know, especially even if they're professionals. Because she feels, and also a lot of people feel as a professional or wherever you are, that's to be your CV. In the next few years, visibility is very important. So, what platform do you use to automate? And is that one that puts out like 30 different videos?
So, I integrate code to Canva.
Okay, Canva. So Canva is where you create your
So it depends on the type of code. So if it's carousel, I use code integration with Canva. But if it's video content, I use one with
but then called me, so I built a tool on code. I just tried coding the tool on code. It's called the content engine. So I used Canva integration for all of them. So the tool knows my brand based on all the conversations and chats that I've had going about time. So when I now make this content, I put it there, and I can tailor all the other purpose content to my content.
And it took you 90 days to go from 900 you know,
I've seen people do it faster. Get like 500.
you know, the crazy thing is, you know, I was a person where, you know, I used to post stuff before, and it wasn't like a currency then.
How long was it?
Let's say, post 2021.
Post-COVID.
Yeah. Post stuff. And, you know, but now, yeah, because, you know, it wasn't like a lot of people making money. It's like, I want to make money. I'm not going to post because there's no money in there.
Yeah, but this is your story. This you just told me your story. The fact that you were creating content years ago, and then you stopped. Making real money. But now, giving yourself the next back of the challenge, I think you're getting back on track.
Yeah, I'm definitely going back on content more right now because we do a lot of traveling. So, you know, put on everything, posting it, even if it's like a LinkedIn.
Where are you
I'm going to Singapore, then I'm going to Kenya, and I'm going to Zimbabwe. Yeah, I grew up here. But it's hard now. I mean, I grew up there too. Like, yeah, right now. I grew up there 1 year as well. But I want to visit Nigeria one day. What's the name?
I graduated.
My Instagram is not the cleanest, but you know, I think people might Instagram might say, you must just really know me.
What's the?
I mean, I'm just really like
What's the exact thing that you're doing? I used to build like it's more like a traffic optimization. Right now, it's more like a
so we help
I'm gonna be starting to work. I'm like graduating. I came here, his roommate invited me.
So the challenge
How do you find this event that they and like you seem to know more than me in the daily like the master and bigger the basic or whatever it is like every day being basic documented. That's my
so we do that.
It's like
second nature.
And it's part of our language fundamentals.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like,
And
are you currently looking for
2021?
Yeah,
you're an international citizen?
Yeah.
You're not a hybrid?
Put in the work daily.
If you're up for down for that,
Hey, I like it.
Well, the thing is, I want to see more about what your project is.
Oh.
I'm gonna, be doing
Blown my mind. It's like you're
Oh, same. Like, it's like I work on that. Traffic. Traffic control. Multi-criterion is multi-criterion system. It's based on multi-instances.
The network and all that.
You're just
What sort of benefits, what sort of apprentices or networks have you encountered that you've seen have really helped you?
So today, for example,
your number. Yeah, because like the thing is, I'm also like it's more like my focus right now is systems architecture and institutional development. Currently, this is my next step. It's like the natural evolution of where I'm heading in my career. And I'm also trying to one of the best communities are solid for you know what you're doing. But dissertation alone, especially in the like if you the thesis like yeah, you have to like present it to your like your supervisor. And when you're like you're in the right room, have the right conversation. That's what you want to do. Like what are your supervisors? Sorry, because this is your right?
No, I thought that was very good.
How hard is your
I never actually attended that, but I did it and it was but yeah,
because I know you also use Jenny.
like definitely important. So important to the point that you know I didn't know
They're not at all strict when it comes to like AI usage. When it comes to like using it for your dissertation work,